how to lower your stress levels. So if you're coming in over the next 3 to 5 minutes, I'm going to be talking about how to lower your stress levels. If you're on replay, just drop a replay in the comments. So happy Monday. Lowering your stress levels is what I'm going to be talking about today, or should I be? There's a lot of talk about how to lower stress and all this, but first of all, do we actually want to do this? Do we actually want to reduce it, minimize it, get rid of it? Because it's all well and good, but there's a time and a place for this for sure. Like, there are situations. However, if you're trying to change, be it your body, fitness, health, stress is inevitable. It's going to happen. If you look back at whenever you've struggled and experienced stress, on the end of that quite often is a breakthrough, whether that's from speaking for myself, like eating disorder, public speaking, all of these things came masses of stress, but at the end of it, a breakthrough coming out the other side. I wouldn't be able to public speak if it wasn't for the struggle, the stress that it caused me. And I probably wouldn't be so grateful for it if it wasn't for the stress that it caused me. Interesting. So do we always want to reduce it? Because when we reduce it, we make it easier to perhaps stay the same, or at least say certain things that, like, I might not be able to handle it right now. It's too much for me at the moment, which then actually leaves us feeling stuck because we're in the same position as we were when we said we wanted to change, but we don't want to change because it's too much stress right now. So when we go into it, we're staying the same. We're choosing to stay the same, which we just said we didn't want. Maybe we read something that said, be happy the way you are, and that's fine. But you can also be happy the way you are and want to improve and want to get better at anything, whether that's career, fitness, health. So I just wanted to share something today that moves on to help managing this and what the research shows on this. And it, as they found as well, and some of the things I'm about to say. So I'm not going to give you one answer that is the secret, that will change all, that will minimize stress, help you manage stress. But I'm just going to give you a few things what aligns with the research, and also strategies, tips that I personally use, and also our clients use as well. So, and they found this on Eat Well for Less as well, in that there was a family who was spending quite a lot of money on the go, takeaways, like grabbing kind of impulse buys as well. And it made up about 40% of their purchases. So the impulse buys, eating on the go, takeaway, coffees, 40% of their purchases were them, rather than actually what they actually needed. And not only did this mean that they're spending more money, but it was also, they weren't eating as nutritious foods as they perhaps could have. So number one, here's my advice. Convenient food is often needed when you are going through a stressful situation. So how can we make convenient food more nutritious without having to get takeaway, etc., which will obviously be fine for convenience most of the time? I argue with that a lot of the time, because the amount of times I'm waiting, like, how long is it going to be? An hour? Blimey, I've got to wait an hour for my dinner. By the time I could have cooked it. No, I mutter that under my breath. No, I'm joking. Kind of. So here's my advice for you. Number one, best case scenario. You put time in your diary, at least 10 minutes, and you plan a few meals for the week. I'm not saying all your meals. Plan like your evening meal, or the meal that you seem to struggle with the most. Is it your lunches that you take to work with? And if you don't get them done, you end up walking into the staff room, the office room. Is it still called a staff room? Colleague room. And all of a sudden, there's snacks, biscuits everywhere, and you start just eating the biscuits. Plan those meals first. Don't have to plan it all, just plan those meals first. And I'll come on to how to make this a bit more simple in a second. So, next one is to keep some real handy things for when life gets super busy. So keep 6 protein snacks handy, whether this is in the fridge, with you on the go. So it could be some boiled eggs, yogurt. In the household, it could be like tinned fish, smoked salmon, some ham, cooked chicken, leftover chicken, a bean salad, like tin mix that you can always mix with something. Keep something handy, like little Baby Bells, blocks of cheese, whatever it is. Have something handy like that you've got a few little protein snacks that are always within arm's reach. Some are more snacky, you can just instant. Some you can make a meal from, super easy. Like, it's having in the cupboard right now, red lentil pasta, which is super high in protein, a tin of tuna, and a tin of sweet corn, and some mayonnaise is literally like the easiest meal ever for tuna pasta that the kids like, I like, high in protein, get some veggies in there, fibre, good. Have a fruit bowl stocked up so that if you have it stocked up and it's there in front of you, you're more likely to eat that. There was one study that they found that people who had a fruit bowl out on the side were on average 10 pounds lighter than people who had cereal boxes out on the side. So again, key one. Plan your meals with the next meal in mind. I've actually just done a meal plan in our private group for everyone. Just a sample one that what I do is the evening meals are then tomorrow's lunchtimes. And it just makes life so much easier. We did a balanced one, we did a lower carb one, we did a higher protein one, we did a plant-based one, higher protein one. And it just means that, you haven't got to get loads and loads of ingredients. Even if you did one day, if I do my one day, one evening meal, or do my 5 evening meals, I know I've got lunch for them for the next few days. And sometimes I do the lunch that lasts 2 days. Then you got lunch for 2 days. Failing all that, pick up some ready meals, good ready meals, I keep saying, and some ready-made soups as well. They're really handy, like the Super One, Yorkshire Provender ones, any of like of them. Like, yes, it might not be perfect. You might be saying, yeah, but I like to eat from fresh. But when stress comes in, when life takes over and you can't do that, what do you do instead? That's the question. Do you start picking? Do you start snacking then? What's your energy levels like then? What's that going to have on your results, on your health, on your fitness? And it's not to say you can't do that, but it really depends on, are you frustrated with your results right now? And there's more, because research is showing that although we know this, we know that adding in, despite going through stressful times and being time poor, adding in exercise actually improves your ability to handle stress. Adding in exercise improves your ability to handle stress. This is super exciting. So the participants that were exposed to stress in these studies, those who participated in exercise more often, so one or more, had less of a decline in their mood after the exposure. So at the start, there was actually no difference in mood, like whether someone was an exerciser or not. At the start, they were just like, no difference in mood. Like, the person who exercised regularly wasn't like, I always exercise regularly, woohoo. You do meet people like that, but they were just like quite neutral. And then the person who wasn't exercise regular though, the people who were exercising regularly, as soon as the stress was hit, they found not as much of a decline in their mood afterwards. So they were a bit more steady. So their ability to handle the stress was better. So, like I said, this isn't one secret. You'll need to probably do more than one of these to help. I don't know which one without speaking to you. If you want to do that, just comment below with Kickstart. I'll tell you a bit more about what we do in our Kickstart, which will be starting in the next 2 weeks for our February Kickstart. But you will need to do this more than once as well. It's consistency that will pay off, and these small, seemingly insignificant habits start to build up. Remember, you don't have to get into a routine, be exercising 3 times a week and super motivated to start. You just need to start today. Happy Monday. Any questions, let me know, and I'll see you soon. Take care.